미국 중북부의 미시간주 의회. 구두가 너무 빨리 닳는다는 것이 걱정이라는 의원이 있다. 주인공은 한인 주 상원의원인 훈영 합굿이다. 미국 남동부의 조지아주 의회 의사당. 조지아주 최초의 한인 하원의원인 비제이박은 거의 매일 도시락으로 점심을 해결한다. 그래도 늘 시간이 쫓긴단다. 30대에 나란히 미 주의회 의원으로 활약하는 두 사람에 대한 평가는 주목할 만하다.
Senator Hopgood is one of the highly regarded members of the Michigan legislature.
One of the hardest working legislators that very thoughtful and very genuine in his desire to help the people that he represents.
My friend BJ has done so much to provide leadership as just a young freshman on so many issues, and he has really made a great name for himself.
법조인이라는 전문성을 살려 입법에서 두드러진 성과를 만들어내고 미국 사회 한인 공동체에도 적지 않은 영향을 끼친다. 30대 미국 정계 중심에 선 한인 정치인. 그들은 미국을 어떻게 바꿔가고 있는 것일까? 조지아주의 의사당이 자리 잡은 수도 애틀랜타. 30대 주의회 의원으로 선출된 비제이박은 의사당에 발을 들인 최초의 한인 의원. 공화당이 다수당인 보수적인 분위기가 강한 이곳에서 한인 의원은 그만큼 낯설다. 그런데 낯선 것은 이뿐만이 아니다. 회의 도중 느닷없이 터진 박수. 의원 모두가 박수를 보내는 대상은 의사당 관람객 유권자들이다. 방문 온 유권자들이 의장석으로 초대되는가 하면 유권자를 안내하기 위해 연설이 중단되고
Is it not true this bill will bring more transparency to spending of our tax dollars?
기념사진을 찍어달라는 요청이라도 들어오면 의사 진행이 정지된다. 이런 분위기에서 법안이 심의되는 일이 가능할까 싶은데 갑자기 비제이박이 자리를 털고 일어난다. 누군가 박 의원을 찾아온 것이다.
167. I guess you guys are for it.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you one question about. I asked the sponsor, what's the difference between the Missouri law and this one, and he couldn't tell me.
It's a statutory language.
Okay.
It's statutory language.
And I think it was on a different provision. I feel a little uncomfortable with the language here.
The Texas case made that distinction.
Yeah.
Or the provider's claim.
의사협회라고 소속을 밝힌 로비스트. 미국 정계에서는 공식 등록 절차를 거친 로비스트들이 국회에 상주하며 의원들과 접촉한다.
Yeah. That's dated. It's a little dated. The 8th Circuit that just handed out after that. Okay. Well, let me look at the Texas case real quick.
We're good.
각각 전문 분야를 두고 활동하는 로비스트들.
You still have given the best speech on the floor so far.
Oh, thank you.
I just want to talk to you about a bill. It's House Bill 164. It relates to the amusement machines.
Okay.
This is a section-by-section analysis, but the key parts of the bill are three. Number one, we have classifications for Class A and Class B games. Class B games are the adult, were basically adult redemption.
Is this the one with the Dave and Buster's one of the exemptions?
Yeah, and well, this will fix it. In other words, what's
well, I
happening.
signed on to it. That's one of the when that person.
No, you signed on to the other bill, which could be a little bit problematic. But at the end of the day, this takes care of it also.
특정 분야에서는 정보나 지식이 의원을 넘어서기도 한다. 그래서 로비스트는 의원들에게 아주 소중한 정보원으로도 활용된다.
And educate you on an area that you generally would not know much about. You can't be expert in every single area, so you have to kind of rely on some of the experts, some of the resources they provide. And some of the lobbyists do that, and that's the important function I think lobbyists play in the democratic system.
그래서 로비스트가 불법인 것 같아 이상하게. 로비스트를 나쁘게 해석하면 안 되는데 지금 옛날에 있던 로비스트들은 거의 다 합병됐어요. 누가 지금 주로 하는 거니? 큰 로펌입니다. 그래서 나도 로비스트를 지금 로여가 합니다. 로펌이. 하는 일이 뭔가니 뭐 돈 주고 이런 부정한 게 아니라 누군가가 워싱턴에 가서 우리 같은 그 시에 좀 불리한 법안 같은 게 나오면 알려줘야 될 거 아니에요. 응? 그래 우리가 옆 도시를 합작하고 편지를 쓴다든가 막지. 그러고 그거 알려줍니다. 지금 어떤 법안이 돌아갔다는 게 지난주에는 어쩌고 지난주에는 무슨 도시를 대표하는 국회의원을 통해갖고 로비스 가서 얘기하죠. 지역구에서 이런 걸 하는데 그 달인 노릇도 하고.
한인 최초로 미 연방의원으로 선출된 후 3선 의원으로 활약했던 김창준 전 의원 역시 미 의회에서 로비스트의 역할은 필수적이라고 강조한다. 의원의 가장 기본적인 역할인 합리적인 입법을 위해 로비스트가 제공하는 정보를 활용하지 않을 수 없다는 것이다.
마이 갓. Hey, what's going on here? Oh, how are you doing? I'm doing all right. This is my kid. Oh, God, you doing okay? I'm doing all right. You're a little changed. A little bit.
Gain weight, you know.
Getting old. See you.
It's good to see you, Jay. You're
I'm so glad to see you.
I chair the subcommittee on Asian on foreign affairs.
Oh, you are the chairman?
Yes.
Jointly with Thomas.
We spend a lot of time in Korea.
Everybody wants me to go to Korea.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's fascinating, fascinating.
Okay, we'll see.
God, so good to see you. Oh my God. Oh.
현역 정치인의 자리를 떠난 뒤에도 동료 의원들의 요청이 있을 때마다 의회를 방문해 경험을 나누는 김 전 의원은 미국 의회의 로비스트가 필요한 또 다른 배경을 유권자의 적극적인 의정 활동 감시로 설명한다.
You continue to be my friend.
야. 왜 법안을 지난주에 통과시켰는지 질문합니다. 지역에 한번 기다리고 있어요. 비행장에 100명이. 날 반대하는 사람 섭섭하다. 왜 그 법안을 통과시켰는지. 그러니까 나는 그 답변을 해야 될 거 아닙니까. 모른다고 할 수도 없는 거고 내가 예스를 했는데 이 사람도 반대하는 사람들이 수백 명이 기다리고 있는데 그러니까는 홍보를 안 할 수가 없게 돼 있어요. 내가 왜 이 법안을 예스를 했는지 그 자세하게 설명해 줄 거 아닙니까. 그러니까는 하나하나 지난주에 있었던 걸 자세하게 읽고 비행기 안에서 밤을 새서라도 읽고 답변을 하기 위해서 공부를 하게 되는데
의원의 입법 경위를 따져 물을 만큼 적극적인 유권자들. 그 적극성은 입법 과정에 대한 직접 참여로 이어진다. 법률 재개정 심의가 유권자의 공개돼 진행되는 것도 바로 그 때문.
It's usually the husband who's going on the property to retrieve some of his belongings, and the police get called. And under this, I could see where he gets arrested, and then he's got an arrest record.
법률 자체와 집행 과정의 불합리한 점을 살피고 바꾸기 위한 법사위원회 회의에는 예외적인 경우가 아니면 유권자가 늘 함께한다. 공개와 개방이 의정 활동 전반의 원칙이고 시민들 역시 그만큼 적극적이다.
One more. And this I'm open to suggestions. Here's what I suggest. In line 223.
Any further amendments, Mr. Pack?
I do.
Opposed? Amendments adopted. 10 a.m. tomorrow, notice will go out in this room. Thank you. You want to sleep in?
Thank you for the work on those bills.
숨가쁘게 의회를 누빈 끝에 잠깐의 휴식을 갖는데 그러나 마음 놓고 쉴 시간이 주어지는 것은 아니다. 박 의원이 바쁘게 걸음을 옮긴다. 지난해 말 선거를 통해 의사당에 입성한 후 점심은 대부분 도시락. 그래도 쉽지 않았던 정계 입문 과정을 생각하면 도시락쯤은 아무것도 아니다.
Georgia. And this is my district right here. 102. 한국 사람들은 다 여기서 살아요. 97. Koreatown.
And I was very surprised because Koreans don't usually run for office in Georgia, and definitely not in small towns in Gwinnett County. And he worked very hard. He went and he knocked on thousands and thousands and thousands of doors. We identified our supporters and ran just a textbook campaign and ended up winning by a 10 to 12 point margin, which is a very big win.
한인 유권자가 극소수에 불과한 지역에서 선출된 최초의 한인 정치인. 의원으로 선출되기 이전 회계사이자 동시에 변호사였던 그 자신의 실력이 의원 선출의 가장 강력한 발판이었다. 미시간주의 한인 상원의원 훈영 합구색에도 하루는 짧다. 최근 미시간주 전체를 들끓게 하는 화두는 교육 예산 삭감.
A big goal of this rally is so that all of our senators and representatives hear our voices in Lansing and know that our opinion really matters down here.
예산 삭감을 저지하라는 요구가 쏟아지고 있다.
And that we have to look at the long-term goals of this current budget, and that I don't know that there are any long-term goals. They seem to be dealing only with the necessities of today instead of balancing them with the necessities of tomorrow.
The economy is down, and as a result of that, some of these kids are concerned that, and I am, that we're not making investments that we should be in education. It's absolutely crucial.
Morning, Anna.
Morning.
Come on back.
Yeah.
유권자의 요구에 맞는 답을 찾지 않을 수 없다.
Morning. How's everyone today?
주지사는 작년 대비 10%를 삭감하겠다는 예산안을 공표하고 국회 심의를 추진하고 있다. 훈영 의원이 주의회 교육위원회 소속인 만큼 삭감 예산안에 문제를 제기하는 시민들의 방문이 잦아지고 있다. 예산이 삭감되면 아이들이 위험해질 수 있다는 주장도 제기된다.
So we really feel a strong commitment to keeping kids healthy and in the classroom learning, and we want to really help kids get the most out of their education by being healthy.
How far you get into the communities? I mean, are we, is there big gaps in lots of our communities, or?
학교 살림이 줄어들면 당장 양호 시설부터 철수될 수 있다는 것이다.
And we were here today advocating for funding for school-based health centers. We work to keep kids healthy and in the classroom learning, and we were very successful. We have the support of Senator, and we're very pleased with how the meeting turned out.
예산 삭감에 반대하는 시민들의 요구는 절박하지만 당장 뚜렷한 대안을 찾기는 쉽지 않다. 미시간주 의원 절반 이상은 주지사와 소속 정당이 같은 공화당. 훈영 의원이 속한 민주당은 소수다. 주지사와 같은 정당에 속한 의원들이 주지사가 승인을 요청하며 의회에 제출한 예산안을 반대해야 삭감 예산안을 막을 수 있다. 대립 정당에 소속된 의원들의 마음을 돌리는 일, 쉽진 않지만 시도할 수밖에 없다.
The state budget really is a high priority for us. And of course, with our state budget, we have to, balance all the needs of the different parts of the state.
비교적 좁은 지역구에서 선출되는 하원과 하원 지역구의 3배로 넓은 지역구에서 선출되는 상원으로 구성된 양원주의 미국 주의회. 이곳 조지아주를 비롯한 적지 않은 주에서 의회 의원들은 전업제가 아닌 파트타임 시간제로 일한다. 박 의원 역시 주의회 의원이자 현직 변호사다.
The law firm is very supportive. It's one of those law firms that's kind of rare where they value public service because we think it's an obligation of the lawyer as a member of the bar, and the profession dictates that we should volunteer our time to make our society better. So my service is obviously working as a legislator.
조지아주 의원 연봉은 상원과 하원 모두 같은 17,000달러, 우리 돈으로 약 1,800여만 원이다. 생업은 생업대로 유지하면서 의회 업무를 봐야 하니 그만큼 시간에 쫓긴다. 수입으로도 명예로도 아쉬울 것이 없는 대형 법률 회사의 변호사. 정계 입문은 어떻게 시작됐을까?
Good catch. Well, I was born in Seoul, and my father was a police officer, and I came to the United States when I was 9. At the time, I finished 3rd grade and immigrated, and I spoke 3 words of English. One was elevator, coffee, and then escalator.
가난한 이민자에서 회계사이자 변호사로 성장한 박 의원이 정치에 관심을 갖게 된 계기는 9.11 테러.
Basically, I was sitting at my desk, and I remember my office mate came over and said, "Hey, did you hear about that plane crashing into the World Trade Center?" And I said, "Oh, it must be an accident." Then the second plane hit, and we knew that it was an attack. And I remembered, and there was widespread panic. Is there something I could do? Because there was so much fear, and that's when I decided, I'm going to do my part and try to do public service. I'm going to go work for the government. And so that's when I applied to be a federal prosecutor.
고액 연봉 변호사에서 셀러리맨 법조 공무원인 연방 검사를 선택한 박 의원은 빛나는 활약을 선보인다.
When he was a federal prosecutor, one, he handled a very significant case involving trade secrets. Actually, the formula for Coca-Cola. It was a very high-profile case. They got a lot of attention in the business media, and ultimately they convicted a executive secretary from Coca-Cola.
6년여의 연방 검사 기간 누구보다도 주목받는 성과를 거뒀지만 박 의원은 다시 변호사로 복귀한다. 이미 30대에 일거수일투족이 주목받는 거물급 법조인으로 성장했던 박 의원. 변호사로 살면서도 꾸준히 사회적 역할에 대한 고민을 거듭하던 끝에 주 하원의원에 도전한 것이다. 아직 30대 전직 연방검사이자 현직 주의회 의원인 박 의원은 동료들 사이에서도 유명 인사다.
My question is, what do you consider in developing a reasonable suspicion if it's not national origin, at least in part? I mean, there's no way to reach a conclusion that somebody's legal not considered a national origin.
현직 변호사들이 판단하기 어렵거나 예민한 문제를 수시로 상담해오는 경우가 적지 않다. 오늘 길거리 상담을 요청한 주인공은 지미 카터 전 대통령의 손자이자 변호사와 주 상원의원을 겸하고 있는 제이슨 카터. 공통점이 많아 워낙 가깝게 지내는 사이다.
Representative Pack, my friend BJ, has done so much to provide leadership as just a young freshman on so many issues, and he has really made a great name for himself here in the Georgia legislature. So I'm honored to know him. I'm excited to have him be here, and look forward to working with him for many more years.
변호사와 정치인, 제대로 해내기로 말하자면 두 가지 모두 끝이 없는 일. 게다가 두 일 모두 끊임없이 사람을 만나야 하는 일이다 보니 박 의원의 하루는 해가 진 다음에도 쉽게 끝나지 않는다.
I think the concept is there is a question of money. If you look at the Hope Scholarship and the loan program, it's the same thing. What they've done. If you go get Hope or get a loan, and you go teach one of the STEM classes, and there's a loan forgiveness. So policy-wise, I think that makes sense, and people are on board. It's a question of where do we find the money?
I don't know if all that whole $12 million goes for what you want to.
And now they're improving, and this was them backing out on their, as I understand, their obligations to Morehouse.
자신들의 권리를 찾는 훈련을 일찍부터 받아온 미국 유권자들 앞에서 박 의원은 밤늦도록 자세한 설명을 이어간다. 조지아주와 달리 미시간주는 상원과 하원 모두가 시간제가 아닌 전업제다. 1년 연봉은 7만 달러, 한화 약 8천만 원. 다른 수익은 일절 허락되지 않고 의정 활동에만 전념해야 한다. 의원 업무만으로도 하루에가 짧다.
Hello.
Good. How's your visit?
Oh, it was good. It was
Mrs.
good.
McDonald has a really nice class. Well, thank you for coming. 4% or
코앞으로 다가온 삭감 예산안 의회 승인을 앞두고 교육 현장의 의견을 확인하기 위해 일선 학교를 찾은 것인데
do what they can do in the amount of time with the amount of kids. So if we have young children in classes of, let's say 40, I've got kindergarten at 30 right now. I don't care how great that teacher is. They can't get to enough children to do enough good thing. You know what I mean? It's so frustrating. I don't know where the end is, but
Yeah.
I'll just keep doing good things for kids every day
That's
anyway,
how
no
you-
matter what.
Yeah.
Although probably not here. I'm probably going to be laid off. I think that's what's going to happen. Thanks again for coming and reading to the kids and for answering all my questions.
Yeah.
You have a
Please
great
feel
day.
free to email me or whatever.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
교육 예산 삭감은 주 전체의 미래를 어둡게 할 수도 있다는 전망이 제기된다.
It's just really a concern because in Michigan in general, we've been losing a lot of population and people are going to other states. And so I think that if we continue to take money out of education, our education will not be as high quality as it's been, and then people will continue to leave the state, and the cycle just continues and continues and continues.
또 다른 학교에 대한 방문이 이어지고 이번 약속은 교사가 아닌 아이들을 만나는 것. 아이들을 방문해 책을 읽어주고 정치가 필요한 이유를 알려주는 일일 교사를 담당한다. 사선 의원의 정치 경험을 초등학생들과 나누는 것이다.
Who decided who could vote? That's a good question. When this country began, the founding fathers wrote a constitution. It said how we would govern ourselves. It said people should vote. The states made unfair rules about who could vote. The Constitution didn't say women can vote. It doesn't say only men can vote either. Some people died. But it took many years, 4 amendments to the Constitution, and several new laws before all citizens 18 years or older were allowed to vote. And I really enjoyed reading the book, and I hope that you all vote, and I hope your parents vote.
삭감 예산안 심의까지 남은 기간은 일주일 남짓.
It's about 3:30, and we're on the way to Southfield. We're running a couple minutes late. I'm sorry. We'll see you soon. Bye.
예산안이 불러올 문제를 정확히 파악하기 위해 전문가를 만나러 나섰다. 오랫동안 미시간주 교육위원으로 활동하며 공교육 전반을 관찰해온 메어리 윌리엄스 씨.
Thank you. Thank you.
He also cuts a lot of the categoricals that will really hurt the Taylor School District because we rely on that money to fund like preschool, the Career Center, and Titan, and just lots of different programs for the kids.
Weekly adding to that, I think it's easy to get $700 or $800 per student very easily.
They were saying it could be about $900 per child then,
Wow.
if all that is cut.
I think that you know that I'm going to be working on ways to prevent some of this from happening. I think it would be really a step back for us, not just for the schools, but for our communities. And
교육 예산 삭감은 아이들의 미래를 그늘지게 할 수도 있다는 조언.
If there's anything I can do to help, just let me know.
사선 정치인 훈영 합굿의 가장 큰 자산은 사람이다.
that you're willing to kind of get out there in the community and talk to people and you know, share your values. So I think in many ways things that I care about and the values that I bring into being a state senator or a state representative are lots of the values that people locally care about. And so I think we were able to connect with the voters over a number of years.
훈영 의원이 언제든 의견을 묻고 고민을 나눌 사람이 많은 데는 아버지의 영향이 적지 않다. 정치인 훈영에게 아버지는 스승이다.
So the AFT National Convention was held a few months after Raleigh passed away. So our national union passed a resolution honoring Raleigh and then had it printed up and we proudly hang that on the wall.
훈영 의원의 양아버지 랄리. 그는 미시간주 일선학교의 교장이자 교사연합회를 이끄는 회장으로 오랫동안 존경받았었다. 그런 아버지의 영향으로 훈영 의원은 어려서부터 교육과 정치에 관심을 갖게 된다.
Not so much because his dad was A of T Michigan, but his mom Chris was a principal, an educator, and so he comes out of a real education family, and so he's so knowledgeable, and to try as best as anybody can to influence the majority who usually see things differently than Hoon does differently.
아버지가 걸어간 길을 따라 걷기 시작하면서 아들은 어른이 되었고 정치가가 되었다. 아직도 힘든 일이 생길 때마다 훈영 의원은 아버지를 찾아간다. 훈영을 비롯해 3명의 아이들을 입양해 키운 아버지는 다른 것이란 틀린 것이 아니라 존중받아야 한다는 것을 알게 해주었다.
Korea, and that's a great part of you, and you're adopted, which means that, my parents brought me into their family, and so that was something that was a really positive part of me growing up.
남과는 다른 나를 고민은 했지만 이웃과 연대하는 법은 아버지에게 받은 유산이다.
Dad was definitely my political inspiration. He got me involved in politics, even when I was a kid, even before I really knew what politics was all about. And he definitely influenced and rubbed off on me. And so I think lots of the things that I think about and care about, and certainly my concern for its people, I lots of that comes from him. I think that helps me during tough times. But I do miss him.
아버지가 물려준 그 유산을 세상을 위해 쓸 수 있는 방법을 아들은 오늘도 생각한다. 오늘도 박 의원의 걸음은 급하다. 의사당 한켠 박 의원을 기다리는 사람들을 찾아가는 것인데 오늘 의정 활동의 시작은 유권자 접대다. 박 의원 지역구에 거주하는 방문단을 위해 주 법무장관까지 인사에 나섰다.
Come in. I'm actually honored to host you guys. We're going to have the Gwinnett delegation, the people who work for you, come visit. And I especially want to thank the Attorney General, Sam Owens. I know he's very busy today. He made room for us to come by and say hello. So I'll turn it over to you, sir.
No, it's my pleasure to be with you. I serves on one of the committees that's really important to me, non-civil judiciary. So they do a lot of the criminal legislation. So in BJ's committee, and BJ's had let's just say that he's not acting like a freshman. He's having a meaningful impact in his first year.
주 법무장관이 의사당 방문객을 맞는 일은 미국에서는 특별한 일이 아니다. 의사당과 주 정부 조직이 시민과 유권자를 위해 존재하는 만큼 방문객들을 적극적으로 만나는 것이 원칙인데 일종의 부처 홍보 기회로 활용하는 것이다.
Secretary of State, Mr. Brian Kemp.
Office. Everybody realizes that the Secretary of State has something to do with elections, and we've got a really big year with our elections, and we just want to have a process where, government is talking to and listening to its citizens.
업무에 대한 소개를 마치고 일일이 방문객들과 인사까지 나눈다.
We do a lot of these meetings. A lot of the leadership groups that come to the Capitol, they want to hear from the Secretary of State's office and what we're doing, and we like doing that because it helps educate Georgians on the good things we're doing in our office and the good things that are going on in state government. So I do a lot of this when I'm free.
최초로 한인 정치인을 자신들의 대표로 선출한 유권자들. 그들은 몇 개월간 진행된 박 의원의 의정 활동을 어떻게 평가하고 있을까?
He's one of our freshman representatives for the state of Georgia and is doing a wonderful job. He's bringing to it an enthusiasm and a different perspective, kind of more of a grassroots. He's talking to the everyday citizen. I'm sure he plays a little politics like we all have to do to keep, his job, but I really do think he's interested in what we need to do for Georgians.
그날 오후 박 의원은 오랫동안 준비해온 작업에 대한 평가를 앞두고 있었다. 초선 의원으로서는 드물게 두 번째 입법안을 국회에 제출하기로 한 것이다.
So agreeable today.
Can you believe we did 20-something bills?
Okay.
Really? Already?
Yeah. We only have 9 bills left on the calendar.
Chair recognizes Representative Pack to present the bill. Representative Pack.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I present to you House Bill 373. Currently, the law stands that for particular juvenile offenders who are sentenced to the custody of the Department of Juvenile Justice after serving a year or more custodial sentence, even if they're completely rehabilitated from their crimes, the judges lack any discretion. Even if all parties agree that their sentence should be modified, the judges lack discretion to modify the sentence. This bill, if passed, will provide incentives for juveniles who are in custodial settings at the Department of Juvenile Justice to behave. Now, because their sentence can't be modified at this time.
You have questions if you care to answer them.
Sure.
Chair recognizes Representative Benfield to your left for a question.
Does the representative yield?
Yes.
This is more of a comment. I just wanted to thank you. This is an issue I've been concerned about for years, and I appreciate you hearing this bill.
Thank you. I ask for your favorable consideration.
Gentleman has yielded the will. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee? House Bill 373 will vote yes. All those
이어진 투표. 의원들의 의견이 실시간으로 전광판을 통해 확인된다. 결과 역시 바로 확인되는데
all members voted. If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of House Bill 373. The ayes are 169, the nays are 1. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed.
정당을 떠난 초당적인 지지를 이끌어낸 법안. 가결 즉시 자리를 뜨는 박 의원. 벌써 인터뷰 요청이다.
I think it's good. Obviously, this is something that's been worked on for several years. The bill has bipartisan support.
So the next steps are?
You'll go to the Senate. I presume that you'll probably go to the Senate Judiciary Committee. It'll be on the governor's desk for Senate term, end of the term.
Awesome. Well, nice little victory before crossover day.
Well, not a victory. I mean, if you think of it, 161 reps voted for it. So it's bipartisan support. It's about time that we do this.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you. I have been following his work, and I'm really excited that he did push this through today. I know it's been a lot of changes in Georgia in relation to juvenile justice, so it seems like this bill is kind of at the forefront of the changes expected here in Georgia.
사람들을 위해 할 수 있는 일, 사람의 마음을 움직이는 일. 박 의원은 자신이 소망했던 일을 또 한 번 해내며 주목을 받게 된다. 같은 날 미시간주엔 거센 비가 내리고 있었다. 예산안에 대한 의회 투표가 예정된 날이었다. 교육 예산이 대폭 삭감된 안을 막아내겠다는 유권자와의 약속을 지킬 수 있을까? 예산안 심의를 앞둔 의사당에 뜻밖의 손님이 등장했다. 주의 수장인 주지사와 감시기관인 주의회가 현재 관계인 만큼 주지사가 의사당을 방문하는 일은 자주 있는 일이 아니다. 오늘 교육 예산안 가결은 그만큼 중요한 일이었다. 하지만 훈영 의원 진영인 민주당 소속 상원의원들은 삭감 예산안을 가결시킬 수 없는 노릇이다.
Well, this was a difficult year in our state in terms of addressing a budget deficit. So we actually had to make a cut of about 10% in our entire budget. And we were fortunate. We looked to say how we could limit that for education, but by better business practices and still educating our kids. And then for future budgets, we've reached the bottom point where now we're going to be able to invest in education because our students are critical, they're important to our future, and we're going to have a great educational system going forward.
훈영 의원의 연설이 예산안 부결을 이끌어낼 수 있을까?
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to express my strong opposition to the school aid budget that is before us today. I would like to start off by thanking the chair for his hard work and the subcommittee members for.
그동안 만나온 시민과 전문가를 통해 확인한 삭감 반대 근거들을 차곡차곡 제시하며 부결을 유도하는데.
The school aid fund is currently showing a surplus, and that money should be invested in our K-12 schools. This budget makes an unnecessary and harmful $340 per pupil cut to our schools. The budget also eliminates a number of funding categoricals, including small class sizes and declining enrollments that will have a detrimental impact to our schools. To improve this budget, we need to do better for our students, and we need to turn down this budget today.
연설이 끝나자마자 투표가 시작되고 결과가 집계됐다. 그렇다면 예산안은 가결일까 부결일까? 의회 의장이 주지사의 손을 든 것인데.
And it's really important right now that we turn the economy around and get our state back on strong fiscal footing. And it required that we make some reductions in our spending all across the board. Now, we protected education from the brunt of most of the reductions in spending. However, it's not possible to separate that out from everything else that's happening in the state. And so I did cast a tie-breaking vote in order to implement a budget as it moves through the process.
예산안이 가결되면서 미시간주는 다시 한번 큰 혼란에 빠졌다. 유권자와의 약속을 지키지 못한 훈영 의원의 마음도 가벼울 수 없었다. 그러나 훈영 의원은 실패에서도 의미를 찾아냈다.
What was interesting is you saw a number of Republicans also oppose the budget bill. So in terms of if all the Republicans had voted for it, it would have passed easily. And it goes over to the House now. And the House probably next week will finish their work on the school aid budget over there, and then they will send their version over here to the Senate, and then we'll start working on reconciling the differences between the House and the Senate versions.
사선 정치인으로 성장하는 동안 배운 것은 결과만큼 과정도 중요하다는 것이었다.
I think in politics, you don't always win. I think this political process, sometimes things go your way and sometimes they don't. And when things don't go your way, it happens. My viewpoint is I think you keep trying and you keep trying to find the right solution, and you just try not to give up, especially if you really believe in the thing that you're trying to do.
의정 활동만으로도 바쁜 시간을 쪼개 강연에 나서는 훈영 의원. 한인이거나 소외계층 또 자기 목소리를 아직 가지지 못한 사람들이 모인 곳일수록 더 적극적으로 찾아간다.
In these venues like this and to gather and to learn from each other and to learn how we can have greater voices and greater impacts on our communities and bring about some of the positive change that I think that we need here in Michigan and throughout the country and throughout the world.
정치가 의사당 안에서만, 직업 정치인 사이에서만 이루어지지 않는다는 것. 그래서는 안 된다는 것을 훈영 의원은 이렇게 알려나간다. 그것이 정치인 훈영이 주목받는 이유다. 박 의원 역시 시간을 쪼개 가견 요청을 소화한다.
If it's a constituent, someone who's one of my voters, they invite me, then I generally go. And if it's related to, younger generation, especially Korean American kids, I try to go and, tell them about getting involved. So that's what we do.
조지아주 젊은 리더들 사이에서 박 의원은 가장 만나고 싶은 인물 맨 윗자리를 차지한다.
So please join me in a warm round of applause for Representative Pak and for taking time out to be here with us tonight.
Well, I guess in one sense, I mean, if you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars running for a $17,000 a year job, then you might be out of your mind. But the advice I could give you is, temper your expectations. I guess it's a huge sacrifice on your legal career. It really is, and realistically, being able to balance that with your other obligations is the biggest challenge for any lawyer. I think that's why we don't have as many lawyers, serving in the legislature. So, I hope your loans are paid off. But I would encourage you to do it. I would prepare yourself in terms of the sacrifice you're going to have to make in your professional advancement and also your personal life. There's no award for being or working hard as a representative. I mean, I think everybody should work hard, but you get awarded through a lot of people listen to your opinion and you get influence. And so if you do a good job, I think you're a hard worker and smart. I think that's recognized by the leadership and your peers, and they put you in positions where you could influence more policy and your chairmanships, positions of leadership. That way you have a little bit more influence and power on things you want to accomplish. And that's the reward for working hard.
가난한 이민 소년에서 젊은 리더로 성장한 한인 의원 비제이박. 자신을 바꾸고 사회를 바꾸려는 끊임없는 노력은 그를 점점 주목받게 하고 있다.
And we think that we're a very positive part, a strong part of Michigan reinventing itself, becoming stronger in the future. And I think that that's a role that we can play, and that's something that I think help bring to the table in terms of Michigan state government.
30대 한인 정치인 훈영 합군. 그는 다양성의 조합을 흔들림 없이 실천해가며 미국을 넘어 미래를 지향하는 세계 모든 사람들이 가야 할 길을 먼저 걸어가고 있다.
신뢰의 가치를 실현합니다. 여러분의 KBS
KBS 한국방송